So in this video we want to recreate the two characters from the game Monument Valley, and I use this photo as a reference. I don't know the pronunciation for the name of the main character, Ida, but the second character name is a storyteller. So for this one I say main character because I don't know the pronunciation for the name. Final project file is available to download. Link is in the description. You can download it and play around with the characters and values. As you can see, most of the things has been made with deformers and generators, so you have full control to manipulate these characters very easily. Let's go. First we start with the main character. Let's add a sphere, change the type to hexadron. What's the point of doing that? When it is hexadron, it has a better topology. Call this head. Then for around the head, duplicate it, add a cube, come to side view, push it forward. For continuing, let's add the reference in front of us. Okay, now it's better. Push it forward, add a bool geometry, put cube and the second sphere inside it. On the bool, select, subtract, and change the position of the sphere to be the first object and cube to be the second object. Let's also increase the size of cube. Go back to sphere, increase its radius. We are doing this for the black area around the head. We call it around head. Now let's go for the hat. For the hat we can use simply a cone and place and resize it as we want, but I want to use another preset to doing that, so it would be much more robust to create anything from it later on. This hat, this kind of hat and their bodies can be made of one robust setup. So let's make it. Let's add a mouse spline, put it inside the connect object, holding down Alt, connect, where is connect, connect. Go to side view, rotate it around here is okay. Now add a circle spline, then add a sweep object. We put the connect and circle as a child of sweep. Click on circle, change the plane to get something like this. Come back to mouse spline, decrease the step to decrease the mesh density. Something like 10 is okay. Come back to circle. Can also decrease the density for a circle. Okay, let's come back to circle, T for scale, decrease the size, come to side view, that's okay. Come back to connect, push it to the head, select the mouse spline, increase the length of mouse spline, select sweep. On the object tab, come down and there is a scale under detail. Select this side, push it down, and as you can see we are getting something like a hat. We want this to be linear without handles, so right click on an empty space here, spline preset, linear, and change the position for these two. Okay, now we had also the hat. For a round head, let's push the cube a little bit forward. Okay, and I'm using shortcut for changing the shading. NA, NB, NC, it's faster, but you can see what I selected for the display shading from here. Display, click on this, you can click it by hand or use N, another word, NB, NC, NF, NG. Okay, now let's make the body. Before that, let's rename the hat. Alt G, put it inside a null. Hat. For the body, we can use the same preset as hat. So hold Control and drag to duplicate hat. Rename it to body. Select the connect object here. R to rotate. Rotate it downward. E to move. Put it here. A little bit inside body. Come to sweep object. Object tab. And you can make the shape of the body with this scale graph here. And change the points on it and you can see the results here. But we need more points on it. So hold down Control. Click on the graph here and it adds point to it. Come back to circle, increase its radius, come back to sweep. We want these to be smooth. We want these points to be smooth. Control A, select all of them, point up, soft. And as you can see, we have full control now for the position of each point. I change each point position and its handle to get a shape like this. You can play around with the handles and the position of the points to get whatever result you want. Let's adjust it a little bit more. I want the edges to have a slight bevel. So select the body, come to deformers, hold down Shift, click on bevel. As you can see, the edge here has a bevel. Hold down Alt and change the offset slightly. Okay. Now we want to make the legs. For the base part of the leg, we can add a cylinder. Come to Asset Browser, Asset Manager. I don't know what is the name of this. Browser. Come to Browser, search for axis, select this geometry axis. put it under cylinder. It gave us the control to change the axis or center point for the cylinder. Select on geometry axis, push down the axis Y to -100. Come to side view, select the cylinder, push it down. And by the way, this is the center of the scene, so I want to push everything up for the character to be on the surface. So select everything, E to move, and push them up until something like here. Okay. This time come to front view, select the cylinder, push it to the side, make it narrower. Okay, now we want to symmetrize this. Select generator, symmetry, put the cylinder under symmetry. Now we have two legs. Alt G on cylinder to make a parent null for it and name it. Okay, how about making the shoe? For now, let's save this file to not lose it. Desktop, monument, Vally, Open a new file, add a cube, select the shading, quick shading with lines. Open browser, search for axis, select geometry axis, put it under the cube, push the axis Y to +100, make the cube smaller, select the cube, select segments X, hold on shift segment Z, hold control by clicking on plus icon to add one to each of these segments. Add everything inside the null. After selecting the cube, hit Alt G, expand it, click on the null, add the correctional deformer, hold down shift. Okay, let's come back to cube, change the size to get something like a shoe. Come back to axis center, also push the x-axis to 100. Now we want to make the shape of the shoe. Select on correction on deformer, come to point mode, click on this symmetry, enable symmetry, click on this gear, select Z. Now push it down, push it. Now by changing the position of the points, let's make something like hair shoes. Put everything inside the subdivision surface, holding down Alt, and change the points until you get something close to her shoe. And I want it to be flat on the ground. So let's add a bevel, modify, select the null, hold down Shift, add bevel, put it after correctional deformer. Change the angle threshold until only this side of the object effect. Turn it off, turn it on to see the changes. Okay, for now I'm happy about the shoe. Select on subdivision surface, Alt G, name it shoe. Select shoe now, Control C, get back to the file, Control V. Okay, so first we need to rotate it. Select the shoes, come to coordinate and rotate it around H for 90 degrees. Come to front view, put it here or put it here. Okay, and put it also under symmetry. We want the leg and the shoe to be one unified object. So select symmetry, hold down Alt, click on volume builder, select volume builder, hold down Alt, click on volume mesher or ND to see the mesh. Let's change the voxel size on the volume builder. Okay, we want better geometry, topology. Select the volume mesher, hold down Alt, add the remesher, increase the mesh density to something like 20 ND. Change the adaptiveness on remesh to 100. For now, let's turn off volume builder, mesher, and remesh. Come back to shoe, select the correctional deformer. You can play around with the points to get the shape you want and also enable symmetry Z. There is no hard rule here. We play with the points until you are happy about the shape of the shoes. Then re-enable the volume builder, volume mesher, and remesh. And it connected the two legs together with the one. So let's grab the shoe, put it on volume builder, grab the symmetry, put it out of the hierarchy. Also we forget to put the leg under volume builder. So under the volume builder we have shoe and leg, and the shoe and leg are not on the same side. So grab the leg, push it, come to front view, push it to this side. Okay, turn back on the volume builder, volume mesher and remesh, and put remesh under symmetry. Now it's much better. You can also add the remesh to a subdivision surface, holding down Alt and click, get a smoother result. The only thing left is that the character is leaned forward a little bit. So we select everything that is on the upper part, holding down Alt G, name it upper body. Click on it, click on this icon to change the axis position to something like this. Turn it off R and lean the body a little bit forward. The first character is finished. Let's make the second one, the storyteller. Let's select everything, Alt G, name it. And for the storyteller, most of the setup is very similar to main character. So we will duplicate the main character, turn it off, turn the first one off, change the name of this one to a storyteller, open it. It doesn't have legs, so we delete the symmetry and everything beneath it. The body and upper body is straight, it didn't lean forward, so select the upper body, come to side view, R to rotate, and make it straight. So another reason that we made the hat not from a simple cone here and we used this setup is that it gave us the freedom to make any kind of hat easily, even this one. So let's also come to side view, select the mouse spline, come to simple tab, increase the length. By holding down Alt, you can change the value gradually. Something like this is okay. Come to circle, make it bigger. We want the radius of the circle to be roughly about the size of the bigger part on his hat. So I think this is okay for now. And come back to sweep object, scroll down to get to details, expand it and select this. And now is when the magic happens. Select everything by Ctrl A and select a point type. So we want it to start a small. We want it to start small, then the size increases. We hold down Control, click, and we want it to be narrower. And at the end, there is a triangular shape that rotated around the whole thing. Control, click here. At this one, Control, click behind it. Let's clean some of this. For the first point, preset, point type, zero angle. Second one, point type, unify. This one we also use 0. This one also we use point type 0 angle length. As you can see, we are getting somewhere, and from now on it's just playing with the points, handle and position to get a result you like. I'm roughly happy about the shape. You can play around with the points even more, but there are some problems here. Let's go to quick shading lines. Let's turn up the head and around head. As you can see, there is a topology problem here. You can see the artifact of select the sweep object, come to caps and select the lone edge. As you can see, the artifact for this edge is now gone. Another thing is that this part edge is smoother than this. So there are a lot of solutions. One solution that came to my mind is adding a bevel to this edge. So on the hat, add a bevel, holding down shift. You can change the angle threshold to only limit it to this part, change the offset. As you can see, it is affecting everything. I want to just affect this side, so increase the angle threshold holding down Alt. As you can see, now it's just affecting this part. Decrease the offset, add another subdivision. It's much better now. You can also add everything inside the subdivision surface. Click on the hat, holding down Alt, adding subdivision surface ND and A, and as you can see, we have the final shape. Turn back on the parts you hide. For making the whole hat bigger, you can come to circle, increase its size, and it becomes big. I love this setup. You can come to every object in it and change the values to get something new. Okay, but how about his body or hair? I don't know. Let's come back to body and same setup as we used for the hat here. First, as you can see, there is not much of a special deformation along the body top to down. It just changed the size. So come to sweep, come to object, right click here, simple preset, linear, select everything by Ctrl A, point type, soft wrap the handles, make it smooth. We also want it to be continued down the part. Come to side view, select the mouse spline and change the length and increase the length until it touches the center of the scene. Another point is that it is not that small in the neck, so come back to sweep, select this handle, push it up. But as you can see, it is Bezier here, but this is circle or 5. So come to circle, select ellipse, and you can play with the values until you get the ellipse shape you like. I'm happy about this. What about extra part on his body? No problem. So select the body here, come to generators and select an instance. And what it will make a copy of the first body. But what's good about this setup is that if I change the body, circle or anything else, the body instance that we made also will be changed automatically. Look at here, this is body instance that we made by clicking on the instance and grabbing the body inside it, and this is the main body. When I change something about this body, this copy also changes. Okay, let's Ctrl Z to get it to the position of the main body. So they are now on top of each other. But we want this part to be slightly out of the main geometry. But you cannot change anything on the body instance. You cannot scale it. So what we can do, we can use a thicken generator, holding down Alt, selecting body instance and click on thicken. Now it's a little bit thicker than the main geometry of the body. Now we can work on it. Come back to ground shade. For this part, let's come to side view, add a cube, scale it, push it up. We want to apply a bool modifier to create this part. Click on generators, add bool. Where is bool? Bool, why I cannot bool? Put bool object under bool. Change the order of them. Now you can see we have the top part here. What about these? Same preset and set. Duplicate the bool, and this time change the shape of the cube. Something like this. Come to front view, select the shape like this. Now this time change the bool type to intersect. Let's come to quick shading with lines, and as you can see we have both this and this part. I want bevel on the edges for both of these. Select both bools, Alt G to put them on a group. When you selected the null, come here at bevel, holding down Shift, and it's not working. What's the problem? The bool object has a property called create single object. Check it on both of these. Now the bevel is working, but it's working in a strange way. What's the problem? Let's delete the bool for now. Let's remesh everything. Select first bool, come here, holding down Alt, click on remesh. Something like a bug here. For this part, not this, turn off this for now. For this part, select the thicken, increase the thickness until you see this part of it. Come to bool, add remesh, holding down Alt. How about adding symmetry? Perfect. It's much better now. Let's click on the null, add the bevel modifier. Now it's working. Great. Offset it, add a subdivision to it, and back on neck. For this part, we use thicken 14. Let's copy it and use it also for this neck. Turn off the bevel. Let's remesh the upper part also. Select the bool, holding down Alt, remesh, symmetry, and now it's working. So for some reasons, for the crash, then I hopefully explained everything about making these two characters for you. And now it's just adding materials and all that stuff. Click on this plus icon, double click, open node editor, select on RSS standard. On the reflection, I use something like IOR2 and roughness and low roughness value, something like 0.2. On the base color, I selected something. So from now on, there is no hard rule here. You can play with the values and make the materials you like. Holding a control, drag on this to make the second material. Change the color of this to something less saturated. Okay. For the storyteller, on the hat, we have this lower saturation color, around head higher saturated, and on body part higher saturated, for the body lower saturated, and for head lower saturated color. What about the main character? I use same materials, control, duplicate it, holding down control by drag to duplicate a material, click on it, color one time white, control, drag another time black. Select the hat is white, body is white, leg is white, around head is black, and head is white. After that, let's enable RS render view by clicking on this, click on the play icon, put it somewhere here. I added the backdrop, scale it up, rotate it, add the area light, rotate it, and scale it, push it out. And for filling the shadows, I added the dome light here and decrease the value or increase it as you prefer. You can select any of these characters, rotate them, put them whenever you like. And that was all for this video. Bye bye.